Hey, let's review a weekend of A's games that at least started off pretty well.
You are Locked On A's, your daily Oakland A's podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, A's fans, and welcome to Locked On A's, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every day. This is the daily podcast. We talk about your Oakland A's all year long, and this, their final year in Oakland. I am your host, Paul Francis Sullivan. If you don't believe me, then why would I be given a lower third? Where is my lower third? Oh my God, did they take it away? Maybe I'm not Sully. No, there I am. I'm Sully. I've been a baseball podcaster for well over a decade now, and I am now in my sixth full season here at the Locked On Podcast Network. Normally, those 6 years I'm doing Locked On MLB, but this year I'm doing double duty. I'm doing Locked On A's and Locked On MLB. You get 5 episodes a week of each show. That's 10 episodes a week of your pal Sully every single week doing these 2 shows. Hey, follow us at Locked On A's on Twitter or whatever it's called now, and on Instagram. I'm your pal Sully, but Sully Baseball on Twitter, Sully Baseball Podcast on Instagram. And today's episode of Locked On A's is brought to you by Tax Network USA. Did you know it's never too late to resolve your tax issues with the IRS? Don't wait. Reduce your tax debt and get help from a team of licensed tax professionals. Call 1-800-549-1000 or visit tnusa.com/lockedon. Okay, so I'm going to be doing one of these weekend in review shows, and this is how it works. I am going to talk about each game after they're done, and I do not have knowledge of the next one. So I am recording this, actually, it's Saturday morning. I was initially going to record this Friday night, but a thing happened. I was sleepy, and I went to bed. By the way, I want to apologize. The last time, I'm recording, as you can tell, in a different place than I normally record because I'm physically in a different place. So I've set up my little makeshift studio, got my shirts in the background here. And this room works, except I realized there's a skylight right up there. You can't see it. And when I did my episode where it was the preview of the Diamondbacks A's series, which I did with Miller Thomas, I didn't realize that I had a heavenly light from above. Some people asked me, was that an angel? Hopefully not an angel blessing me during the recording. No, it was just the sun popping in a way. Normally I recorded not at my normal time, and so that's why I had that beautiful halo behind me. So hey, let's hear it for Friday night. Friday night, I have to admit, Friday night was one of the most fun games we've had in a little while for a couple reasons. First of all, Sears started, and I made the joke that Sears is basically on sale right now. And the A's are probably going to deal him because he's a major league pitcher and teams need major league pitchers. But what was it? To double the lead off the game by Marte, Gurriel, who had a very good game for the Diamondbacks, drove in a run. Grichuk, who's having a fine year as a platoon player, hit a ground rule double. It was 2-0 after 1. We all thought the game was done. We thought it was Griffin done at that point. And I just started shaking my head. And that was around, I got right shortly after that, heard the news about the death of Orlando Cepeda. Check out Locked On MLB on Sunday. I did a tribute to the great Orlando Cepeda. And Cepeda was part of the series that I do here of I Bet You Forgot He Was on the A's. Oh, by the way, the trivia question, I wonder how many of you will get this trivia question that I did on Locked On MLB. The trivia question was, there are several players who are in the Hall of Fame as both an Oakland A and a San Francisco Giant. Not a Philadelphia A, not a New York Giant, an Oakland A and a San Francisco Giant. Who is the only pitcher in the Hall of Fame who has played for both the Oakland A's and the San Francisco Giants? I wonder how many of you know the answer to that. Anyway, Brett Rooker got a single. And everyone remembered to touch home plate. And then Langoliers got a single. This after a couple of walks. And it was like, oh, my God, a 2-out rally that didn't involve a homer. I almost didn't know how to react to it. I almost felt like I was watching a Twilight Zone. I said, oh my God, they got runners on base, and they didn't just sort of sit back and try to, crank one out of the ballpark. And all of a sudden it was a 2-2 game. And then once again in the fourth, Geloff, who has been awful the last bunch of weeks, was very productive, got another hit. And then Schumann wound up hitting a sacrifice fly, driving in feel-good story Armando Alvarez. Suddenly the A's had a lead. Now, of course, Gurriel Jr., who, as I mentioned before, had a fine game, hit a game-tying home run. And then the Marte, who also had a good game, got an RBI single, and they took the lead going into the eighth. Be honest, A's fans. When the Diamondbacks took the lead off of Alexander in the seventh, you thought the game was done. I know I did. I thought this game was dunner than done. It was done. It was Dunder Mifflin. That's how done it was. And Tyler Soderstrom, on a 2-1 pitch, hit that deep home run to tie the game. I did not see that coming. And then, feel-good story, Armando Alvarez gets the walk. And then Zach Geloff, who had him on PrizePicks, pulling out the big game. He hit that triple to right field, which was a thing of beauty. And then Schumann drives home another run. And next thing you know, I'm looking up and said, oh my God, the A's are up 6-4. And because, Schumann pulled off the steal, but they were up 6-4. And yes, they got the Soderstrom home run, but they rallied by playing smart. A guy gets on base with a walk, gets, you get a big triple, but then single, move runners along. It's almost as if you don't just rely on the home run, you can find ways to win a baseball game. I'm not sure that's true, but I'm looking into it. All right. So Urseg, who started off the season so wonderfully, he hits a batter and then another hit. And then give TJ McFarland credit. By the way, TJ McFarland is also good as gone. He is pitching well out of the bullpen, but he's facing Corbin Carroll. And on a 3-2 pitch, he strikes him out looking. I thought, oh my God. And, I started, okay, now they can get Miller ready. Because I want them to win game one of this series. Get the series off to the right point. And then what happened? All of a sudden, I've been saying, hey, it's great. They got 6 runs without relying on the home run. And then Brent Rooker, Shea Langoliers, and Daz Cameron all said, hold my beer. Rooker hits that home run, which looked like it was off the wall. Can we have our stadiums have it be more clear when it's a home run? I don't want any more, if it's above this line, if it's below that line, have a net or a gong or something like that so we know it's a freaking home run. But Rooker hits the deep home run to center field. Langoliers hits a deep home run. So it's the first time all year, despite all the home runs that the A's got, they got back-to-back home runs. So all of a sudden they got a little bit of wiggle room. And then in comes Daz Cameron. He hits a home run. So it's 9-4. And I'm hearing the announcer, well, maybe they could hold off on Miller. No! Seal that win. I've watched enough A's games this year. Seal that win. And they did. In comes Miller, strikes out Perdomo, strikes out Herrera, gets Ketel Marte to fly out, and boom, the A's win game one. They did not get a great performance out of Sears, but they got an adequate performance out of Sears. And again, that's something I know A's fans, I know you haven't had a chance to see winning baseball much, but there's something about Sears throwing 6 innings where he didn't have his best stuff. He didn't. We all saw they jumped on him at the beginning, okay? But he gutted through. He gave him 6. He gave him 6 innings, and they were still in the ball game. TJ McFarland, really underrated hero for game one because of that big strikeout. You could tell the D-backs were part of the getting all set to rally. And let's hear it for the boys. Freaking Zach Geloff gets on base 4 times, scores twice, drives in to get that beautiful triple. Armando Alvarez is continuing to hit. He went 2 for 4. Daz Cameron homers, Soderstrom homers, Langoliers homers. Brett Rooker got a couple of hits. Do you know what? I'll buy it. It's game one. It's game one of a series. And it's the type of game where A's fans, this is what it's going to be like. A's aren't winning piddly-poo this year. And I don't know if you've noticed this, but the Angels are on a roll. The defending World Series champion Rangers are in a free fall. The Angels are on the verge of catching the Rangers. The Angels aren't winning piddly-poo either this year, but the Rangers aren't exactly running away with it. And I don't know. Maybe the key for the A's for the rest of the year is to derail teams' hopes in the postseason. And the Diamondbacks, who also were in the World Series last year, are now 4 games under 500 as we're entering July. Again, I know there's a scrum of teams in the National League, but when you start to say, geez, we're a bunch of games behind, there's a lot of teams in between us and that wild card spot, and we could get rid of either some bad contracts or get a little younger. I'm just saying, the A's job should be to derail playoff hopes. So, hey, good for the A's. Good first win. I'll take it. You'll take it. Let's see if they can win on Saturday. You already know if they did or not, but I don't. PrizePicks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. PrizePicks is the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Unlike other apps, on PrizePicks, it's just you against the numbers. All you have to do is pick more than or less than on 2 to 6 players, stat projections, and watch the winnings roll in. Get in on the daily action with your friends and become part of the PrizePicks community. You can now win up to 100 times your money on PrizePicks with as little as 4 correct picks. You can turn $10 into $1,000. And if you're looking for promotions, PrizePicks has you covered. From lowering select player stats projections on Tuesday to helping your lineup hit, or getting your entry fees back if you have a losing lineup on Fridays. And with the finals over, hoops action doesn't have to stop on PrizePicks. Women's basketball is still heating up with stars like Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese looking to make names for themselves alongside greats like Breanna Stewart. You can win up to 100 times your cash watching them play ball. PrizePicks is available in more than 30 states across the country, including California, Texas, and Georgia. So download the PrizePicks app and use the code LOCKEDONMLB for a first deposit match up to $100. That's code LOCKEDONMLB on PrizePicks for a deposit match up to $100. Pick more, pick less on PrizePicks. It's really that easy. You know, we here at Locked On A's, we pride ourselves on giving you the latest information about the A's, whether it's the offseason, the draft, the spring training, or the weird move they may be doing to Sacramento. It's year-round. But who else is year-round? Collection seasons. Just because tax season is over doesn't mean the IRS will stop coming after you for unfiled taxes. The IRS can garnish your wages, levy your bank accounts, and even seize your property. Don't let the IRS target you. Let the licensed professionals and tax expert at Tax Network USA go to bat for you. A lot of times I've worked for media companies that they pay you either in cash or sometimes with a personal check or sometimes with a check where they don't take any of the taxes out of it. If you don't have people like the good folks at Tax Network USA working for you, you could get absolutely 2x4'd on April 15th, owing lots and lots of money. With over 14 years of experience and an A+ rating by the Better Business Bureau, Tax Network USA has saved their clients over $1 billion in tax debt. Whether you owe taxes, have complicated matters like I have with those 1099s, or you finally hit that parlay this season and you want to get some help filing it correctly, call 1-800-549-1000 or visit tnusa.com/lockedon. Be sure to mention Locked On A's at checkout, and you'll receive $250 discount on their services. That's Tax Network USA. Hey, where is your hub forgetting all your sports news, forgetting all your sports takes, forgetting all your sports fun. Let me tell you, you need to make the switch to Locked On Sports Today, a free 24/7 sports streaming channel programmed for you every day to bring you the biggest stories in all of sports. Locked On Sports Today brings you can't miss analysis, opinions, and news, streaming 24/7 on YouTube or on the free Amazon Fire TV channel app, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every day. All right, I'm recording this on Sunday morning, and I have here the Merc is in front of me. The headline for the A's article is D-backs Gallen stymies A's in return from the injured list. And brother, did he. Holy Toledo. You never know what you're going to get when someone's coming back from the injured list and whether or not someone's going to go very deep in the game. And Gallen only pitched 77 pitches. It's not like he pitched a 100 inning, 100 inning. Jesus, it's not even one. Marichal would do that. 100 pitch masterpiece. But in those 77 pitches, he gave Arizona 6 innings. 6 innings. He allowed 1 hit. He allowed 1 walk. And he struck out 7 A's. I can tell you that the A's did not score any runs without the long ball yesterday because they didn't score any runs at all. 3-0 was the final. Hogan Harris didn't get through the 4th. Hogan Harris walked 1 batter, but he committed a cardinal sin. The batter he walked was Mr. Herrera, who was batting a whopping sub 200 before the game started. And by walking Herrera, they wound up facing Marte, their hottest hitter. They walked the number 9 batter, of which Marte promptly drove him in. And in a game where it's 3-0, you needed every single out, a 2-out walk to the number 9 hitter to extend the rally that allowed them to put some insurance runs on the board, was kind of not what the A's needed to do. The A's bats, of course, were dead. They got 2 hits. Andujar got a hit. Rooker got a hit. And that was it. That's it. That's the end of their offense. Oh, they got a walk. Soderstrom got a walk. Needless to say, 2 scattered hits and a walk. You're not going to have many rallies. You're not going to score many runs. And the A's offense was dead. It was absolutely dead. Let's find some good things in the gloaming here. Osvaldo Bido came in with 2 runners on in the 4th inning, stranded them, and pitched the rest of the game. He pitched 4 innings of 4 2/3 innings of shutout ball. He walked 3, he let up a couple hits, but he didn't let up a run. And the A's have gotten a bunch of performances like this recently. Harris did one out of the bullpen, where there have been a couple of someone goes, oh, they gave him 3 out of the bullpen, 4 out of the bullpen. Hey, can we start like that, please? Maybe what they should do is this. Maybe they should pretend they should throw a simulated game before first pitch and then bring out the middle reliever to start the game. Because this game would have been a lot different if it started with 4 2/3 innings of shutout ball by Bido. I digress. But good for him. Good for the A's for getting a good performance out of Bido, which will completely rest the bullpen for today. And mind you, this is, again, exactly why it was smart to use Miller on Friday, even though it was no longer a save situation, because you knew they were probably going to lose to Gallen anyway. You knew that they were probably not going to be in a situation to use Miller. So when you have a chance to close out a win, don't worry about the save. Don't worry about piling up his saves, okay? Just clinch the games when you can. So now, they have McFarland, they have Gallen, they have not Gallen, they have Miller, they have Ursack, they have basically, their normal relief crew is going to be ready today. And today, who they have starting today? I should have known this already they got Medina. Yikes. Okay, so you better have that full bullpen because Fod is pitching for Arizona, and he's a pretty good pitcher. All right, not much to say. You lose 3-0. Got one guy doing the lion's share out of the bullpen, and you walk the number 9 batter, and that starts a rally. That's a pretty good recipe to lose a game. But this is why you win game 1. If they can win this afternoon, then this is a series win on the road. So let's see if they can do it. And let's see if maybe, just maybe, the A's can get out of this with a series win. One of the best parts of the entire sports year just wrapped up with all the playoffs going on at once. And, when they all wind down, we get fewer games and we don't have as much sports as we'd like. But FanDuel helps me keep the sports going whenever I want. All I have to do is open the app and dream up bets anytime I'm in the mood. And this summer, FanDuel is hooking up all customers with a boost or a bonus daily. That's right. There's something for everybody every day, all summer long. So head over to FanDuel.com/lockedon and start making the most of your summer. FanDuel is an official sporting and betting partner of Major League Baseball. This is a reminder that Locked On has begun the first ever national sports streaming channel on YouTube, and it's also available on the free Fire TV channel app on Amazon Fire TV. Locked On Sports Day is here for you 24/7, covering the top sports stories of the day with the local experts of Locked On, plus our national shows covering every league. Find Locked On Sports Day now available on the free Fire TV channel app. Well, a weekend that started off with so much promise ended with the proverbial thud. The A's lost today. Recording this Sunday afternoon. The A's lost 5-1. The game was a lot closer than 5-1 would indicate. It was the A's fell behind because they don't do anything but that. But they came right back. It was 1-1 after 5 innings. And I have to give Medina a lot of credit. The A's played well against the Arizona Diamondbacks and kept the game, tied going into the 7th inning. Obviously the A's got the 1 home run by Geloff, which was the 9,000th home run by the A's. Not this year, that would be a record, but it seems like the 9,000th because that's the only 9,000th this year because that's the only way they could score any runs. But they got that home run in the 5th. But the double play the same inning, got out of the jam in the 6th, but the 7th. They got the Corbin Carroll double, and then just that the Blaze Alexander single that kind of went all over the place. Christian Walker single. The next thing you know, it's 4-1. And with that, Fott pitched well, didn't get the win, and Medina pitched. I mean, you got 6 innings, 1 run out of him. McFarland wet the bed. He let up 3 runs in a third of an inning. Newcomb let up 1 run. He walked. There were too many walks. McFarland walked a batter. Newcomb walked 2. That's 3 walks in 1 1/3 innings. And they pulled ahead at the end. The A's got, they got absolutely manhandled by Gallen the night before. And Fat was solid. McCann got a couple of hits. The home run by Geloff, of course, was a solo shot. Butler got a hit. But, and Diaz got a walk out of the 9-hole. Diaz is batting 103, by the way. I know I'm not supposed to look at batting average. His OPS is 236. That's a bad batting average. And there you have it. I mean, the bats just, with the exception of a solo home run by Geloff, there was no offense. And it's tough to win because then you have to you have to have flawless pitching and you have to have flawless defense if you can't score. And they scored in the last 18 innings. They've scored 1 run on a solo homer. So they haven't even had a single rally going there. It's disheartening. It's disheartening because the weekend series started off great on Friday. All those home runs are looking great, feeling good. Oh my God, it's 1989 all over again. And now we are about to turn the calendar page. They do not have a game tomorrow, so we can all rest assured there'll be no A's loss. Or in fact, there's only 3 games being played tomorrow. This season, we turn the calendar to July 2nd. And the A's are going to be playing the Angels here in Oakland. So, the Angels swept the A's. And the Angels, by the way, have been playing pretty well. They're breathing right down the necks of the defending champion Rangers and trying to get themselves, I don't know, back into it, but certainly stop being a doormat. But the calendar page is going to flip, and we're in July. The final 3 months of the Oakland A's. They're probably going to make some trades at the end of the month and hopefully play spoiler. And then I'm sure a lot of you are going to go to games in September to sort of say goodbye to the team. But here we go. Final 3 months, the final half of the final season. And, I'm glad they won one game. It would stunk if they got swept again. But they have to dust themselves off. They're coming home. They're playing the Angels. And that's a winnable series. So here we go. July, August, September. That's what we have left for the Oakland A's. Let's see how much of it we can enjoy. So follow us at Locked On A's on Twitter or whatever it's called now, and on Instagram. I'm your pal Sully. I'm at Sully Baseball on Twitter, Sully Baseball Podcast on Instagram. Lamenting a weekend that started so well and ended so badly and wondering how many more weekends are we going to have like this. This has been Locked On A's. I am your host, Paul Francis Sullivan. Please call me Sully.